Hey everybody. So extraterrestrials are widely known in association with owls. There's a lot of mythology out there where people see owls and then they have an extraterrestrial experience, especially the Alaska experiences. I don't like to use the word abduction. I call them experiences. The Alaska experiences and many other cases throughout the world where people see an owl and then they find out, hey, I was taken onto a ship by ETs later, and often through regression or their memory might have been blanked out, but then they start piecing it back together as their memory comes back. And I've been asked before, have I ever had experiences with owls in this way? I have not, in that typical mythological sense of the folklore, the mythology, whatever term we want to use for it, for the storytelling that we have. Um, I have not experienced it in that sense. I have experienced owls though before. Owls are highly conscious, extremely telepathic, and I used to have a friend that was an owl. When I was in my early 20s, I would go to a state park in the mornings and found myself one day standing. I just walked off the path just a little bit and found myself standing face to face with an owl, a barred owl, about he was 2 feet away from me. Like, I just walked out down the path, I turned, and boom, there he was right in front of me. Him and I would go in and he would be sitting on a tree. It wasn't like his nest or anything, it was just a random tree. He'd be sitting on one of these trees in this very specific area, and I just go sit down and talk to him, close my eyes, and have a conversation, try to telepathically connect or say hi or wave and that sort of thing. So for years, probably 1 to 2 years, maybe one summer. I don't remember if it spanned over a year, but it was quite a while that I was going to that park and seeing him and like having a connection with that owl. Now, that connection was just spiritual in nature. It was like a connection with animals and that sort of thing. At the time, it was very symbolic in nature for my journey. It was kind of like having an animal totem. But now, in another sense, have I experienced owls from an extraterrestrial standpoint? Again, the mythology, the way that goes, I have not, but I have had an experience before where it had been a while since ETs had been around. I hadn't had any visits that I had remembered. I'll always add that I remember, because sometimes we just don't remember, where our soul is like, don't allow us to remember. That's part of the agreement so that we don't have fear around an experience. I'm better with that now because of I have so much experience with them that the only time that I'm not allowed to remember is like a very sensitive situation that if I remember it all, I might not fully perceive and the it in the correct viewpoint type of thing. And so I need to be given the information slowly to digest it, to become aware of it and process it, rather than having a big chunk of it and like overloading my brain. So I had this experience where it had been a while since any of them had come, and I get visits in my home. They come in my home, the energies. I've had physical visits in my home. I've had all kinds of craziness happen in this space. It happens more when I'm outside the home because I can go do different things. I can go essentially to safe spaces where I'm not worried about people being awake or all these other things. And I had been in my home, no contact, and starting to go, okay, maybe when you have that space of no contact, it can create doubt. You can start to go, okay, now I know I had those experiences, but I haven't had any recently. Like, maybe I was wrong, or it can create doubt. It can create confusion. It can make you think, well, maybe vibrationally you're doing something wrong. And sorry if I'm twitching. I have a weird energy there for a second. So you can make you think that you're doing something wrong vibrationally, like, what are you missing, kind of energy. And I go, are you guys out there? I just asked, are you still around? Are you out there? Are you coming anytime soon? And I go for a walk, and it's 11 o'clock at night, something like that. I go for a walk around town, and I live in the country, but I live in a town in the country. I think the town's got like 1,500 people living in it, something like that. Very, very small town. And so I'm on this walk, and I hear a hoot in the distance. I'm like, oh, there's an owl, and it's a great horned owl. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And great horned owls are a sign of, for me, they're like one of the rarest owls that you see around here. For one, I mean, most people have never seen one, and then I see one, and he's in the distance. I can feel him over there, and I don't remember if I saw the first one. I might not have seen the first one, but I can feel him and hear him. He's hooting, and my galactics are like, see, we're with you. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. But then I'm walking, and I hear that hoot behind me, and then I hear a hoot in the distance over here. There's another great horned owl. And I'm walking, and my galactic friends are telepathically laughing because they didn't just bring one great horned owl in to confirm and be like, yeah, we're still here. They made it a magical experience where there's one owl down there, there's one owl over here. I think there were like 6 total or something, and there's another one here. And then I remember very clearly walking by like a tree that had dead branches on it, looking up, and there being one sitting there looking down at me, hooting too, while the other ones are hooting. And that's like not common. If you have a great horned owl around here, there's one, and if there's one, it's on like in the tall trees in the country. It's not in town, type of thing. And there were like 5, 6 of them sprinkled around town, hooting at each other, that I kept passing. Like, and I'd pass one and think, oh, maybe that's the same one, and then the other ones would talk back and forth. It's like, no, there's multiple owls here. So that's my experience with extraterrestrials and owls. It wasn't anything regarding going onto a ship or memory loss or any of this other stuff. It was them communicating with me like, hey, yes, we're still around. Not a problem. Like, we're here. You didn't miss us. It's just not time for us to see you again, but you want some validation? Here you go. We're not just going to give you one owl where you'd go, oh, great horned owl. That's a great sign. Yeah, they're still talking and telepathically like laughing and having fun with it. No, they throw like 6 of them down, and you're like, wait, this is something that nobody experiences. Like, it just doesn't happen, type of thing. So yes, to that question about owls and have I experienced them with ETs? Yes. Other people experience them in ways that they are signs that something has happened, and that doesn't mean every owl you see is a sign, or every owl memory that you have is like, oh, I was taken onto a ship, or there was a being around. No, that's not the case, which is kind of why I use that example in the beginning too of one of my other owl experiences, because I find them in the woods and that sort of thing. But they do use not just owls, but other animals and events and stuff to signal that they've been around in a sense, I guess is the way to put it. And owls just are highly telepathic birds that also operate at night, when in nighttime is when a lot of these beings operate for safety reasons to go unseen. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Thank you again for watching. If you are enjoying these videos, please remember you can buy spirit art readings to support me, to see your spirit art guide or your spirit guides, galactics, fairies, dragons, gnomes, unicorns, animal totems, all those sorts of things. So thank you again. Very grateful. Love you all.